Hi Paul, this is Hal Jacobs, PGA professional at Worcester Country Club, just reviewing our golf lesson on July 9th, 2011, and we talked a little bit about a couple things. Really, there were two things that we wanted to take away from the lesson. One was that you took the club a little bit more, what you feel is inside, but is actually a little bit square. And it actually had to do with your hands more than the club. Remember when we got on the playing board, you said your hands had to feel closer to your body on the takeaway. And the second thing was that you were rotating your hips through the impact zone. So here's your golf lesson. Your golf swing. I'm going to draw a couple of lines here. Some great things in your golf swing, and a couple of things we need to work on. So setup looks pretty good. Let's just take it back. And now the golf club itself looks like it's on plane, except your hands are a little bit outside the plane. So if I stop the camera right here, you can see that the club is right here on the plane, but your hands are outside of it. I'm trying to look at some lefties that I have in terms of professionals, and Steve Flesh is one of them. And the camera moves a little bit, so I can't draw the lines like I did on you, but I want you to look at the relationship of the club head and his hand. So you take a look, you see where the club is on the other side of his hand, meaning that his hands are a little closer to his body on the takeaway. So here's the club head, and here's his hand. If we look at you, take a look at the relationship of your club head and hand, and you can see how there's all this gap in here on your golf swing, and your hands are outside. So one of the things I was thinking after watching this video is you might want to hit some shots with a towel underneath your right arm, since you're lefty, that lead arm, to bring that hands a little bit closer to your body. That might be a decent idea. But let's bring your golf swing up to the top. So you can see how you've risen up out of the shot. Here's your new, the top of your head is up here. And so, not the greatest. I think that has to do with knee flex. Remember, we talked a little bit about having a little less knee flex. The club is in a pretty good position. I don't think it's, you were talking about it being flat, but I don't think that's flat at all. If you watch Steve Flesh, when he gets to the top of his golf swing, and take a look at where his hands are off his shoulders. So I don't think that that's where you are is flat, although you can watch his golf swing as he actually dips down a little bit. I know the camera moves a tiny bit, but you see how he dips down a tiny bit, whereas you go up. So as you come back to the ball, you're doing a pretty good job of rotating, and then you see how the club's on the outside of the plane. Remember we talked about it. That's where some of those pull hooks come from, because the club gets outside. But take a look at your hip rotation at impact, and let's take a look at Steve Flesh coming into impact, and look at the difference in the two. His hips are already cleared, his shoulders are cleared, so that's a pretty big difference between your swing and his swing. You've dropped your head back into the box, which is great. You kept your spine angle, which he has too, but he's just so more around in terms of rotation than you are. If you look at your face-on view over here, and I just want you to see at impact, let me bring it back here, you still have a little bit of weight, behind the ball, and then as you come through to impact, right about here, I can still see your calf flex, so there is a lot of weight there. You remember that drill we were doing where you took a practice swing and then inched up? Take a look at, I think your head peaked up too early, but take a look at what your follow-through looks like now at the same position. Look at that. That's great. That's textbook. So the drills we were working on are great, and I think you should keep doing them. We did those 3 balls with the 8-iron and just continuously taking swings and inching up and rotating, and then we did the 1 ball with the 5-iron, and we did knockdown shots, and And again, like I said, stick a towel or head cover under your right arm and hit some shots. It's going to be really awkward at first, but let me know how it's going, and give me a call or an email, and keep in touch.